Are we on?
We are on.
Hell yeah. Welcome to the first episode of the Timbo and Sugar Show podcast. We're going to hit all kinds of subjects. We're going to hit fucked up subjects. We're going to hit health subjects, mind subjects.
It's kind of whatever we want.
Crazy sugar stories, crazy Red Hawk stories. But first, we're just going to get started with kind of how we got started in MMA and how we got to be where we're at. Go ahead, Sean.
All right. Well, you guys kind of heard from the Rogan podcast and probably little bits and pieces of interviews of how I got started. I think I was 15 or 16 years old. My buddy called me. Mike Foley called me. I was in Utah with my family camping. He said, "Do you want to go check out this fight gym?" And it was the summer. I think I was going into my sophomore year. And I was pretty insecure. I was little. I thought it'd be sweet. Initially, I was like, damn, it'd be sweet to be able to whoop someone's ass. And so I remember I got back to Montana, and we went down to and the first thing I ever did, it was jiu-jitsu, actually. Like, that was the first thing I ever did. I remember we learned a triangle, and we went home to my house and drilled triangles and triangles. But I ended up switching over I ended up liking boxing a lot more. So I just did boxing.
Who was your favorite fighter boxing to watch?
I never watched fighting.
Really? No boxing either?
I didn't watch fighting until I moved to Arizona when I was 19. I didn't watch fighting.
Damn, dude, that's nuts. You were that good because I remember watching you when you were 16 at the ice rink.
Yes, I was 17.
I remember Frank told me because I was in Bellator at the time. Frank told me, he's like, "Damn, this kid's pretty athletic." I'm like, "Nah, dude, he's a fucking." I knew you were athletic, but I was like, I don't know how hard he works. I don't know nothing about him, but damn, dude, for not watching fighting, you were fucking good back then. And 16 years old, that's just natural talent. And
yeah, and I didn't even really, like, at that time, I didn't have a, like, maybe, it's hard for me to remember. I don't really remember having, like, a specific coach. I had a couple different boxing coaches. I had Ray Moore, who was kind of the first boxing coach who taught me how to throw a 1-2 and, like, just box. But I always switched stances just through I didn't understand southpaw or orthodox. I just literally did whatever I did.
It's crazy too, because like your style, we're lucky you didn't find someone that was like, nope. At that age, we're like, you're gonna stand orthodox. No good fighters switch stances. Nope, you're gonna stand this way. Like, it's thankful you had a coach like Johnny Aho or whatever that gave you the freedom to be like, yeah, do whatever, just fucking do your thing.
Yeah, my first MMA coach, Johnny Aho, and he was the first one that really believed in me, and he's like, going into any fight, he's like, oh, dude, you're going to knock him out. And that was kind of the mindset I had. Like, dude, you're right. I am going to go knock this dude out. And I had 14 amateur fights, 4 amateur boxing fights, 4 amateur kickboxing fights. And literally every fight I went into, I was thinking, I'm going to knock this dude out. And that was probably a huge mindset for.
What fight was it, like, what number fight where you're like, damn, I'm fucking good at this?
I remember I was 18 years old, and that was my first MMA fight, because you had to be 18 in Montana to fight MMA. And I remember I was nervous, and I was like, all right, if I lose this fight, I'm going to figure out something else to do. And I ended up winning that fight, and then from there, I was addicted to that feeling. It was in Helena, my hometown, and it was it was addiction. I don't know how to explain it. You know how it is.
Just the high, or the relief after the win, or the high after the win.
Just the people. I liked people talk. I was like, oh, people talking about Sean. I thought that was cool.
And that was probably the first time, because in high school you're a troubled kid, and everyone's like, "Oh, Sean's a bad kid." All the adults are like, "Oh, you're a bad kid." Then finally you win a fight, and you're like, "Oh, getting some respect from older people."
Well, I was always good at sports. I was good at football. I was good at basketball, and those are 2 sports like I knew I was good at, but I didn't show. I was little, so I wasn't they wouldn't put me on the. I wasn't the main guy, and I knew I could be the best guy. Like when everyone's talking about in the state, I knew I could be that guy, but I never was. Mentally, I think it was a big thing too. My attitude towards people as well. Like, I didn't really get along with everyone. I remember my gym teacher laughed at me. I told him when I was a sophomore, like, I'm just going to fight. He laughed at me. He said, why aren't you ever in the paper? That stuck with me.
Damn, that's crazy. And, well, being around you these past, 5-6 years or whatever, you for sure could have been a pro in other sports. Like, size-wise, maybe not football and shit, but soccer, easily you could have been a professional in, or maybe even basketball you could have been a point guard in, or anything I think you committed this work ethic to, you could have been a high level. But it's crazy it worked out that it was fighting.
Yeah, fighting was the least, like, no one expected that. No, I don't remember anybody in my family that fought. Like, none of us fought.
And probably most people heard the story on Rogan's podcast, but we might as well give them a rundown again about how I invited you down.
Yeah, I remember that pretty well. I fought a wrestler. What was he? What kind of wrestler? Luis?
He was an NAI college wrestler.
And I knew literally an arm bar and a triangle off my back. That was literally the only jiu-jitsu I knew. Johnny Aho, we were in the back warming up, and I was just doing arm bars. I think like it was in the first round. The kid took me down. I remember arm barring him and kind of feeling his elbow pop, and I ended up winning that fight. And then at the after party, I met Tim, and I had known Tim from Bellator Fight Master. I'm like, damn, that's sweet. Watching that, and then he came up to me and said, "Hey, dude, if you want to come do like a real gym and actually take fighting somewhere, you're more than welcome to come down and stay with me."
I remember seeing your eyes when I asked you to. You were jacked. I was like, okay, this fucker's pretty jacked. But I feel like I didn't have any high expectations at that time. I'm like, this guy's gonna come down and really get his eyes opened.
I remember that fight was Saturday. I called you Sunday on the way back to Helena. Hey, dude, let's make it happen. And then Corey Smith, he was kind of someone who was helping me at the time pay for that travel. I went to Arizona for 10 days. It was the first time leaving the state, first time getting on an airplane, first time being away from home.
Damn, that's crazy.
I remember going to the lab. I think we went to like 5 or 6 practices, and it was literally the most miserable experience physically of my life, getting beat up bad after doing a hard strength and conditioning workout with Jarrett, and then going to wrestling practice, literally not knowing how to wrestle at all, going to Wednesday sparring, all the like Yachty, Effie, Delatoria, those guys would beat my ass. Like, I remember, I'm pretty much sure I cried after every practice. I was so like, I'm like, I can't do this. What the?
And I remember the first time, the weekend in their sparring, you were, how old were you? You were 18.
I was 18.
And I was like, hey, to Crouch, I was like, can we get this Sean around in the cage? He's like, he looks over and he's like, my teenagers are beating him up because the little teenagers were taking you down and double-legging you. Dude, but the fucking resilience you'd have to not know how to wrestle and come in that room and be as small as you were, and that just shows how mentally tough you were. And thank God for that.
Yeah, and I don't even really know. Like, I wasn't drilled that. I don't know. I just...
Well, the thing is, you never wrestled in high school. You've never done 2-a-days. You never ate healthy, so your body's just so inflamed. Sleeping on my fucking futon.
Oh, God.
Where your back's just aching. And then you saw me smoking weed, and you were totally against weed, totally against alcohol, totally straight edge, and super proud of it, too. Because in other people's eyes, you're a little rebel, a little punk, doing rebel shit, so they think, oh, this kid gets drunk and gets fucked up. No, that's all right, man.
Yeah, I remember, so when I went down those 10 days, I never drank, never smoked, never done any drugs. And I remember you brought up weed. And I was so taken back. My dad, growing up, he was a detective and a cop. My mom was a nurse. I heard nothing but negative things about marijuana, and I was legitimately scared to do it. And I obviously didn't do it. Those 10 days I was there, I didn't do it. Yeah, and in a way, I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I was 18.
For sure.
And if like younger kids, I'm still only 23. Who knows if I should be smoking now?
Yeah.
But like definitely at 18, shouldn't be smoking weed.
Totally. I think that the time you ended up trying it, when we talked you into it, to hit that vaporizer one time, was perfect. Because I think a lot of kids do smoke that, and they just numb all their feelings, numb all their things, and they get addicted to it, and they just start smoking every day, and then just like don't do shit. So I think it worked out good, the timing for you.
For sure, yeah. And like when I did start smoking, it wasn't like I wasn't smoking. I looked at smoking, because I started smoking when I was 19. I looked at it as, I'm gonna go and train in the morning, hard, come home, take a nap, and then go and train in the afternoon. That was our schedule. Literally every day we trained in the morning, came home, took a nap, went back, and then we'd use it as like oh yes, let's get high tonight, smoke, have a good dinner. And I used it as like a reward, and I think that was huge, and it helped open my eyes to so many different things.
Oh fuck yeah, it did, dude. Yeah, that's crazy shit. And then like, I don't know, even for me, when we got our first apartment, Sean moved down with us, and we moved down because my girlfriend's family started a big marijuana company down here. So they all moved down. I was training at Portland, Oregon at the time at a place called the Sports Lab with Mike Pierce and all them. And I lost my first Bellator fight. And that gym in Oregon was kind of falling apart. So I knew Benson Henderson was a champion at the time, and Mariah's family moved down to Arizona. So I was like, oh, perfect. I'm going to go visit, check it out. And the first day I went to the lab, I got a cage round with Benson, and I was like, damn, this is a place I need to be. So I moved down.
How old are you?
22. 22. So I moved down, started living with Mariah's parents, and then that's when you moved down. And what did we live in that house for, a month?
Yeah, not even. I had super bad allergies, remember?
Oh, yeah, we had all the dogs. We lived there for a month, and it was a half hour from the gym, so we got our own apartment. And that's when I was like, oh, shit. That was your first time.
Not living with my mom.
Not living with
My
your
dad.
mom. And like I said, like, picking up after you, doing the dishes. A lot of people would probably get pissed off and be like, fuck this, I'm not living with you. But I was like, damn, he just doesn't know. Mm-hmm. And you did respect me enough to where, like, I'd say, hey, we got to do this, and you do it. So then we just started getting along and then just going that way. And what were you? You were still an amateur for how many fights at the lab?
Yeah, I fought at least 5, maybe a couple more. I think I fought more than 5. But yeah, I fought at least 5 amateur fights at the lab at the time.
Yeah, it's weird because even when you were young as an amateur, in the cage, you always seemed super comfortable and just like you had your swagger. And like when the lights came on, you were doing your thing. You were never fear. You were never standing there shaking. You could always see in your eyes that you knew you were going to fuck someone up.
It's weird, like, and even still, I don't look at fighting as like, it is fighting, but I always look at it as like performing. Like, I'm going to go out there and perform, and like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. They always say it's like chess, like human chess, and that's kind of how I think of it as too. It's like, I don't know, fighting seems...
It's pretty cool, too, because, like, all your amateur fights and even some of your pro fights, you're like, man, I want to go out there and do this. I want to go out there and do this. You weren't thinking really about winning the fight. You're thinking about doing sweet shit.
Literally want to go do... like, every single fight I've had, I've watched it hundreds of times. I think about going into fights, but I want to do this so I can go and watch it. And, like, I don't know, that's a huge reason why I still fight. It's like, fuck, I want to go out there and do sweet shit so I can go watch it.
Yeah, seriously. And all the fucking fights you've had... How many times I see you watching all those fights, you're seeing it from an outside view, and you know what it looks like from your eyes. So I think it's huge how much you watch your fights. I think that helps big time. And
another, well, this is a little secret my opponents might know, but like I watch my fights, and I trust you so much in my corner to when you say something, I literally do it either at that exact moment or I see what you see and do it when the opportunity presents itself. And it's pretty much like 2 versus 1 in there. Like that's how I feel. Like I have four eyes looking at this. Like I don't know how much this guy trusts his corner, but I guarantee it's not as much as I trust him. Like as far as what he sees and what he says to do, I'm gonna do it, and that's a huge benefit for me.
Yeah, and I think that's just being 5 years, and not only just seeing you at practice, but living together for 5 years, knowing kind of what your thoughts are like, and knowing that in this spot you're thinking this, and I'm seeing this, and it works out fucking good. And I think it's going to be super, super dangerous.
Just the beginning still.
But the thing is, a huge thing with like both of our growths, and especially yours, was the eating, dude.
God, I remember I was injured literally. Like I even still am like injured, not injured, but have little things. I think that's just living the fighter life, but. My back, I had the worst back pain always, and I used to eat top ramen, Hot Pockets, fucking plates of cheese with Doritos on top, and it just all that food is literally just inflaming my body. There was no nutrients I was eating. So after every practice, my wrist would hurt, my back, every time my back would hurt, but there would always be new injuries. My wrist, my elbows, my knees, all my joints would hurt, and I knew at the time I didn't know it was from eating. I was always trying to figure out what is this from, and then once, like, you ate a little, I don't know. I feel like, when did you start eating healthy? Or did we kind of start doing it, really eating healthy at the same time?
For really eating healthy at the same time. But I knew, like, I would always eat healthy, eat clean, get down to my weight, and then just fucking explode because I had such terrible weight cuts going to 155. Like, for my fight at the Playboy Mansion, I literally stopped eating and drinking Wednesday night for Friday night weigh-ins. And I fucking killed myself. So I think it, like, gave me an eating disorder almost. So I diet. I didn't really know how to diet. Decently I did, because living with Pat Healy, I watched what he did a little bit. But after my diets, I'd blow up. I'd fucking eat everything. Every shitty thing you can think of. And I'd constantly, I wouldn't eat and just be like, okay, I ate enough. I'd stuff myself every single meal to where I couldn't breathe for some reason. Because I knew that...
Probably was from cutting, though. It probably was from those weight cuts.
Yeah, I knew in a couple months that I had to starve myself again and physically just fuck myself up again. But it wasn't till super recently when I got my bicep injury, other bicep injury, where I was like, you know what, fuck this. I'm going to eat good all the time.
Yeah.
And my cheat meals, I'm just going to make them healthy cheat meals, and I'm going to make them myself. And now it feels fucking good. And I feel like an idiot sometimes preaching about it, but it's the truth. And I'm super, like, in a good mindset most of the time. I wake up with good energy. I'm usually in a good-ass mindset, and I think a lot of it's a tribute to my food. And eating good food makes me sleep good, and sleeping good makes everything good. So it's like...
we used to eat, like, when we started learning how to eat good, we'd eat good Monday through Friday, and then Saturday night, like, oh, let's have a cheat meal. And we did that for a while, and those cheat meals...
Wednesday night too, right?
And Wednesday night, yeah, even Wednesday night. And then we did that for a solid probably year or so, and every time we'd be like, oh, why do we do that? And now we're to the point where, like, we don't even want to have cheat meals. Like, why? It literally messes up our sleep, messes up our thinking. It just makes us not feel as good. So we're almost to the point where we're really not eating anything bad. Could we eat better? Yeah, because we're still learning on how to. We're listening to guys like Ben Greenfield, Paul Chek. I mean, we're all consistently going to be learning how to eat healthier. So right now we eat healthy, but we could eat healthier, and we're learning how to.
Yeah, and it's hard. Yeah, we're on a good track right now, because we're both holding each other accountable too, and especially like Mariah holds us accountable too, and we all hold each other accountable for eating good, because we know how bad it fucks us up. But it's hard when we see our families, like our families eating bad. My brother does a pretty good job, but our family's getting sick and being negative mentally, and it's hard. You want to fucking help them as much as you can, but they only listen to so much. Like, we're their young sons. How much are they going to listen to us? Right. But I think the only thing we can do is just, like I said, is just lead by example.
Exactly.
And shit. So, what was the first time that you did mushrooms?
The first time. That's a good question. Who was it?
Was it the chocolates?
It was.
The magic chocolates?
It was the chocolates. I'm trying to think of the first time. I did most of my good times with mushrooms were with Danny. We would do them, and
where'd you guys do them the first time? Was it at the apartment?
I think it was at the first house we rented, and that I think was the first time I'm like, oh my god, mushrooms are like magical. Because I remember listening to podcasts and trying to watch YouTube videos of like how magical mushrooms are, and then I experienced it, and I was like, oh my. I remember we sat outside in the dirt and just talked on another level. Like I felt like we were talking without our egos. It was like our souls were talking, and like we connected on another level that I've never talked to someone else on, and that made me feel. And I was just felt connected with the earth and the dirt and the trees. It was just looking up in the sky. It was weird.
Damn,
feeling.
That's crazy. That's fucking sweet. I'm trying to think the first time I did them.
I don't know if that was the first time. That was the first time I felt like, oh my god, they're powerful. But I don't remember the first time, because I think I might have done them out with friends and like, oh, let's do mushrooms, and kind of. I think mushrooms are super spiritual and a medicine. And
but I think when everyone talks about, like, I think you do have to be in a right mindset to do those.
Like, we did them bowling the other day, and I had a good time, but I was like, these aren't what mushrooms are for. Like, that's not... Like, I remember we had a good time. It was all right, but I was like... I felt like I was...
Cheating
them. I'm like... I felt bad. I'm like, I'm sorry, mushrooms. Like, that's not what you guys are for.
Yeah, not this kind of shit.
So...
Yeah, it was weird when we did them at the bowling alley. It just felt like everyone around us was just, like, sick and sad and forcing this happiness while they were drinking their alcohol, and it was like, holy smokes.
I felt the negative energy in the bowling alley and all the people. It was, yeah, like you said, the alcohol. I felt like everyone was kind of trying to have a good time but weren't really. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. But this podcast, we're going to talk about all sorts of shit. We're going to talk about mindsets for fighting, mindsets for just... I don't know, everyday life, different like struggles we've went through with injuries and breakups, all sorts of shit.
And like Tim was telling me before, when he brought up the podcast idea, he's like, dude, I don't want to do this for money. I want to literally, if we have 10 viewers and we're helping out these 10 people, and like we're holding ourselves accountable for constantly learning new things, and if we can help people grow and have better lives and become happy, like that's what we're doing this for.
Yeah, for sure. After that Joe Rogan podcast, both of us got just a shitload of messages saying how much we impacted them and how much they motivated them to do healthy shit. And people messaged me, said he was going to commit suicide, and he listened to this podcast and it helped him not and get on the right track. So I was like, fuck, dude. If we have that kind of like, if we can help like that, then we might as well do this an hour and a half a week. Yeah, and like you said, he's going to stay consistent with it, and we're going to do like our favorite book reviews. We're going to do all kinds of stuff. We're going to talk about healthy eating, or different healthy recipes. We'll talk about marijuana, talk about caffeine.
Pretty much anything, really.
Relationships, talk about our ego, our lives, like injuries, talk about religion. I was raised a Jehovah's Witness my whole life until high school, so I would definitely want to talk a lot about that. And then we'll have different like friend and fan questions. I hate the word fans. Oh, I have all these fans. It is what it is, but like I feel like they're friends. If they like us and like what we're doing, we probably would end up liking them.
Yeah. When we were in Vegas this last weekend for Fight Week, it was like overwhelming. It was good, like how many people wanted to take pictures, autographs. Like, hey, we saw you guys on the Rogan podcast. Like it was that was so cool to see how many people like are excited about my journey, and it was awesome. So thank all you guys that showed up and wanted pictures and autographs. That was cool.
Yeah, and especially if we can get a good, decent following and everyone on a good path of eating healthy and just trying to get better and just read and learn and listen to other podcasts. Like, there's just so much fucking good info out there that we're able to, like, see that in past generations people had no access to. And now we have all the access to, so we're pretty lucky. And we're going to, just like you said, it's going to hold us accountable, read books every week, try to find the highlights of those books and help out as much as possible.
There's so many little things you could do to improve your days, like waking up in the morning and hydrating properly, like something as little as that, hydrating throughout the day, getting 7 hours of sleep, just little things that you can change throughout the weeks and months and just keep growing on top of that and make that a part of your life instead of something that you feel like you have to do. Just make it normalized, like I'm going to make sure I drink enough water today. I'm going to make sure I get my good sleep. I'm going to make sure I eat my vegetables, do all those little things, and it turns into a healthy, happy lifestyle.
Fuck yeah, dude. And we got to see it, like, well, we always get to see it firsthand, but especially this time we went to Vegas last week for International Fight Week, and we weren't getting the best rest. We weren't eating the foods that our stomachs are used to, good quality organic foods, and, like, we both felt it. We both came back the first day, we're moody, and, like, our moods were all over the place. But 3 days in of eating healthy, getting our good rest, training twice a day, eating quality foods, and we're fucking back.
It was crazy that Wednesday night we got there. We drank. We drank one night. We drank Wednesday night, and it fucked us up for a solid 5 days. I feel like, as far as because we weren't sleeping as much as we usually sleep. Like you said, we weren't eating those organic. We were trying to eat decent, but just nothing beats your routine and your eating your normal food, and just it definitely messed up my body and my mind for a few days.
Oh, dude, for sure. Yeah. Definitely.
So how many podcasts are we gonna do a week? Are we gonna do like one a week?
I say,
what do you think?
I think we should do one podcast a week.
Kind of get feedback from you guys too. Like if you guys are loving it and we're really helping people, we're gonna try to do as much as we can too.
Yeah. But for now, we'll try to do at least maybe a 90-minute podcast a week.
We're just going with the flow.
And then like leading up to your training camps and my training camps, we'll talk about our weeks. We'll talk about our different practices. We'll talk about all sorts of shit. We're going to be all over the place. So I think it's going to be pretty beneficial for both of us and for everyone.
Hell yeah.
All right. So we will call it with that today. That'll be episode 1 of the Timbo and Sugar Show podcast.
Follow me on Instagram, Sugar Sean MMA, and then, on my Twitter as well.
And then follow me at Tim Welch MT on Instagram and Twitter. and we'll try to get these live videos on YouTube. And once we get enough followers on YouTube, we'll go live on YouTube, and then we'll find Sugar's next opponents, and we'll break down his opponents on the screen live for you, and we'll tell you exactly how he's going to knock them out. And then we'll go over some of his last fights and some of my fights and everything. We're both planning on competing August 11th at a no-gi jiu-jitsu tournament, so we're focusing a lot on jiu-jitsu right now. And we'll keep you guys updated. Peace.
Peace.